Thank you for joining us for our next installment of our video blog, Should I Pay Off My Home by Retirement? Brought to you by Zynergy Retirement Planning. Zynergy Retirement Planning, enriching life. To learn more about us, go to www.zynergyretirement.com. So the question is, to pay off or not to pay off? And with interest rates as low as they are today, many financial advisors are encouraging their clients to refinance their mortgage, pull the cash out and invest it, or just not pay off their mortgage and keep their lump sums invested. At Zynergy, we disagree. And our answer is yes, Virginia, you do want to pay off your mortgage. If you can pay off your mortgage by the time you retire, do it. The benefits of paying off your mortgage are substantial. First and foremost, it takes a lot of financial pressure off you during a time we shouldn't be having financial pressure. You should be enjoying your life. It allows you to focus on what's important in retirement, to go out there and do the things that you've wanted to do for so long, not worry about whether I'm going to be able to make my monthly payment. And it reduces your income and expense gap each month, thus reducing your retirement risk. Let's take a look. What is our retirement gap? Well, typically when you're working, if you're doing it right, you've got more income than expenses, which means we have the ability then to use that extra income to save in our 401k, our IRA, or our cash savings account. In retirement, that tends to switch. It means that typically between Social Security, annuities, and pension, we can't make enough to sustain our lifestyle. That's why we draw from our retirement accounts, our qualified accounts, and our savings. And the difference between what we have coming in every single month and what we need every single month is called our gap, the retirement gap. Now, if our gap is very wide, like it is here at age 70, it means our retirement's a little bit more risky because now we're reliant on the performance of our investments. And I don't care how safe and secure your investments are, if we're relying on the performance of our investments, then we have risk. Even things like annuities and bonds are subject to inflation risk, which we'll talk about in another series. If our gap is very narrow, it means we aren't quite as reliant on the markets or the economy or our investments, and thus we have less risk. So by paying off our mortgage in retirement, not having that monthly payment, we dramatically reduce our expenses and thus reducing our gap and our retirement risk. Now, there are times when we don't want to pay off our mortgage in retirement, when all of our assets are in qualified retirement accounts such as IRAs and 401ks. We want to make sure that we don't take a big giant distribution from those accounts to pay off our mortgage and then in April get a giant tax bill. Okay, because you're already making enough money whether you're still working or in retirement, you're getting enough income to live. So if you were to take $200,000 additional to pay off your mortgage from your 401k, now you're talking about $200,000 on top of what you're already earning. And that's going to be a huge tax liability and put you in a very, very high tax bracket for that distribution. All right, so don't do that. When you have non-retirement accounts that are invested in investments that have large unrealized capital gains. So if we have an investment account that's an after-tax account and we've invested in investments and those investments have done really well over time, and we have giant gains that are just sitting there waiting to be harvested. We don't encourage you to take those gains immediately just because you want to pay your mortgage off. If the time is right to take those gains, then do it. Take advantage of it and pay your mortgage off. But don't do it just because you want to get your mortgage paid off. Wait until the timing is right for the investment itself. And if you are very near retirement, you don't have enough money to pay off your mortgage in the next 5 years. In this case, we actually encourage you to do the opposite. We talk to you about refinancing your mortgage and stretching out your mortgage to a brand new 30-year fixed mortgage and getting that monthly payment as low as possible. Let's look at two examples and then we'll show you why we talk about that stretch. So John and Jane Doe, they walk into my office. They have $80,000 balance remaining on their mortgage. They want to retire in 4 years, and they're currently paying $1,200 a month in principal and interest with 7 years left on that mortgage. So what we encourage John and Jane to do, they're a perfect candidate to do what we call pin their mortgage payoff to their retirement. So what we do is we do a calculation and we say, okay, if you pay $1,673 a month for the next 4 years, then your mortgage will be paid off. We will have pinned it to your retirement. So once you do retire and that income stops, you no longer have a mortgage. Okay, and an extra $473 a month is not a hardship when they're working in that situation. All right, let's look at the opposite situation. John and Jane don't. So let's say John and Jane walk into my office with a $240,000 balance on their mortgage. They want to retire in 6 months. They currently are paying $1,800 in principal and interest with 16 years left in their mortgage. They only have $76,000 in investments in after-tax accounts, while the rest are in IRAs and 401ks. So you see, in this situation, even if they were liquidate every dime of their after-tax money, they would still have over $160,000 left in their mortgage, and their payment wouldn't change one bit. So having an $1,800 monthly payment in retirement is a pretty substantial hardship and is going to create a giant gap in their income and expense level. So what we recommend to John and Jane don't is they actually refinance their mortgage to a brand new 30-year fixed mortgage and stretch out that mortgage over 30 years, making the payment only $686. And what we've been able to do is reduce that payment by $1,100. Why? Because in retirement, cash flow is king. And having your expenses as low as possible, reducing that gap, is going to make you far more comfortable in your retirement than having this big monthly nut that you're paying towards your mortgage, trying to build up equity that, frankly, you're going to be 76, 80 years old before you can even enjoy having that mortgage completely paid off. And by then, you probably won't be able to enjoy the money. That $1,100 back every month in the early years of their retirement will let them do things like travel the world, spend more time with loved ones, go out and golf, do activities that they enjoy, and frankly, just hit all the things on their bucket list. I'm going to leave you with one quote here. Retirement is like a long vacation in Las Vegas. The goal is to enjoy it to its fullest, but not so fully that you run out of money. Thank you, Jonathan Clemens, and thank you for watching. If you'd like to subscribe to receive our retirement education videos in your email inbox twice a month, simply go to zynergyretirement.com. And if you have any questions on anything that you saw today or would like to speak with me personally, feel free to give me a call or email me at 732-784-2380 or ryanz@zynergyretirement.com.